Hey YouTube, welcome back to Dwayne's World. So do combo products actually work? Well, we're going to find out here on Dwayne's World today. Have you ever tried one? Well, I'm going to. You better stay tuned. Alright, so I just want to give you guys a shot here of what the lawn looks like since we've thrown down the PGF Complete. Definitely has seen a little bit of a green up, and it definitely helped. However, our temperature is still fairly mild, and once the temperature really ramps up, we're going to really start to see the lawn come to life here. Now, one of the things I will mention is I did do a rotary mow the other day just because we had a horrible windstorm. And with that, there was so much debris throughout the entire lawn, which is why I broke out the rotary mower just to give it a cleanup. All right, so the one thing I will say is I'll probably have to ramp up utilizing my sprinkler system because the rain here in Southern California has really started to taper off in these last couple of days. Now remember, as a good general rule during the growing season, Bermuda needs about an inch of rain or an inch of irrigation every single week. So I want to make sure my lawn doesn't fall short and that I'm irrigating to really help this green come to life. So the combo product I've chose to go with today is from Anderson's. And the combo product is both an insecticide and a fertilizer. Now you may be wondering, well Dwayne, why in the world are you applying this combo product versus just doing each of those applications separately as you may have done in the past? And the reason why is just because of the fact that I live in California, and when I'm trying to have certain items shipped to me because I want to be able to try them, they're restricted for shipping. So that makes it really difficult for me to be able to get a really high quality insecticide. Fungicides I can definitely get. Insecticides are much more difficult. So with that being said, when looking at the Anderson's website, I saw that they had both the fertilizer and insecticide in one that controlled grubs, as well as a lot of other insects that are pests in the lawn. Now I kind of figured just because of the time of year, this is generally when I throw down an insecticide and a fertilizer. So I figured, maybe I'll combine two into one and we'll see what type of result we get. Now I may be a little bit early on another fertilizer treatment, as you guys can tell, because of the fact that I put down the PGF Complete about 10 days ago. So because of the fact though that in that first application of PGF Complete, I really didn't go with the heavy rate. I only went with about a ½ pound of nitrogen in the lawn. Now when I do my treatment for today, it's about the same rate as that 1608, although the formulation is slightly different, which I'll talk to you guys about here shortly. All right, so before I get into the actual product that I'll be using today, you know what we got to do. We got to break out the real mower and lay down some stripes. All right, so this will be using today to go ahead and take care of the mow before we throw down our fertilizer and insecticide combo product from Anderson's. Now the kind of cut I'm going with is about 5/8 of an inch. The reason why I chose to go ahead and use this mower today was just because of the fact that I did a recent back lap. So I just want to give it a test. It's definitely cutting paper, really cutting nice. So I think it's going to do an awesome job in being able to throw down some stripe action in addition to just an overall quality of cut. And with that, let's go ahead and get on to the mow. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and drop the height of cut one notch lower than what I said I was at. This is where, again, sometimes by looking at the manual and it's telling you where your height of cut is, may not be 100% accurate. That's why I always use my eyes to be able to tell whether or not I like that height of cut. Now, by dropping it one more, it's not gonna hurt anything. I think just a little more grass is gonna come off. The grass is gonna come back. I'm not worried about scalping, but this is still higher than the ½ inch that I cut with the True Cut. And with that, let's get back to the mow. right, I just want to stop the mowing here for a minute. People often ask, Dwayne, why are you mowing your lawn? It doesn't look like it needs it. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, that are watching this right now, because I'm sure you've had that comment thrown at you before as well. But let me tell you something. What's really important for Bermuda is if you wanted to get it to thicken up, you want it to spread, help fill in some of those bare areas, you have to continue to mow it. It is going to tell the Bermuda, hey, I need to continue to spread. I know people don't always believe that, but it is the truth. One of the quickest ways to get your Bermuda to thicken up is to mow it, and to mow it often. So a lot of people, what they do is they go out and they look at their lawn and they say, it doesn't really look like it needs to be mowed. Well, if you're mowing your lawn when it looks like it needs to be mowed, it's too late. That's why you end up scalping it. That's why it doesn't look as good after your mow. You want to keep your lawn looking on point. Continue to mow. And with that, let's get back to the mowing. All right, so after doing a few passes there, let's go ahead and see what type of stripe action we got with the 20-inch Mclane. Looking good, looking good. As always, let me go ahead and turn it around and give you guys a better look. All right, all right. Hopefully it's coming out on camera here, but those stripes absolutely look great. The Mclane with that groove roller absolutely does a fabulous job laying down those stripes. I absolutely love the way this Mclane performs. As you guys can see here, the Mclane putting into work. Looking good, looking good. Now, I think people often believe you need to have a greens mower, and I own a greens mower, but don't think just because you may have a Mclane, you may have a Calfornia trimmer, that you cannot get a phenomenal result. All right, and with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the point of this video, which is the combo fertilizer insecticide. So this we'll be using today, it is Anderson 1703 fertilizer with Grub Out. So let me go ahead and talk to you guys about this product. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I have a very difficult time getting any type of good insecticides here in California. Now Anderson's makes very good product. They make professional grade products, but they also sell to your DIYers. All right, so sometimes people ask me, Dwayne, do I really need to throw down an insecticide if I really don't care about bugs? Well, you do, because there's bugs that are in your lawn that won't do any damage, but yet there's other bugs in your lawn that can do a lot of damage. I think the two that do the most damage is armyworms and grubs. Armyworms, although a pest, tend to eat more of the grass at the surface, and once you cure those things, the grass will just fill back in. However, so grubs are a different story because grubs actually eat the roots of your lawn, which takes a lot longer for it to repair itself when you cure that problem. So the best thing you can do for your lawn is to really prevent these things from happening in the first place with the good insecticide. I'm going to go ahead and use the 1703 Grub Out in my application. But there are a lot of other insecticides you can find on the market that you may want to go with. The bottom line is you do want to treat it so that way you don't have those problems in this coming growing season. All right, so do combo products work in general? Well, we're going to find out, because I think a lot of times in the past, what I've heard though, is generally people are disappointed with them because they don't do a great job in really filling the roles of each of those sides of the combo. However, I kind of figured this will be a good time for me to be able to test, only because I cannot really get a good insecticide sent to me here in California. Now, if I don't live in California or you don't live in California, Anderson's Dual-Side is a wonderful, great insecticide that I've seen a lot of positive reviews on, and I wish I could have got that sent to me. So I kind of figured this might be the next best thing in being able to get a good quality insecticide, but at the same time be able to feed my lawn. Right, so there's a couple rates that you can go with as it relates to the 1703 Grub Out. One is more of a preventative rate, which I'll be using today, or there is a curative rate once you've already established that there is some insect damage in your lawn. That's where typically I wouldn't use a combo product, is when I know I have a problem. I think combo products probably work better as a preventative than a curative, if that makes sense. So in the case of the Grub Out, 3 pounds per thousand is going to be very good for what I need to be able to feed it from a nitrogen standpoint and a preventative from the insecticide portion. And with that, let's go ahead and throw down the product. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look here. You know, the prill size is actually not too bad. You know, I thought that it was going to be really thick, but this actually is pretty good. Not as small as PGF Complete, obviously being greens grade fertilizer. However, I think this is going to work out really well in being able to get down into the canopy. This is one of the reasons why I like to actually mow before I actually throw down any type of fertilizer. Just really helps that fertilizer be able to get down into the canopy. And with that, let's go ahead and fill up the hopper. All right, so I went ahead and already measured out in the bucket here. This is 20 pounds, which should give me about 3 pounds per thousand. All right, let's go ahead and start spreading. All right, so on the Anderson spreader, you can see there's an alphabet of letters. So the rate that the bag states in order to get the 3 pounds per thousand is at the L. I went ahead and backed it just down slightly from the L, but I think that's going to be a good starting point. All right, so the hopper's empty. We good to go. All that's left now is to go ahead and water it in. All right, there we go. Watering it in. You know, I'm very excited to see how well this does as a fertilizer and insecticide. Now, generally when it comes to any of these type of combo products, I know there's a lot of mixed opinions on whether or not they work or how great they really are. You know, I think most of us see them in the form of a weed and feed or in the form of a pre-emergent that has a fertilizer in it. From a pre-emergent standpoint, it never makes sense for me to be able to apply any type of pre-emergent with fertilizer, because generally the time I'm using my pre-emergent based on my climate is not a time I'll be feeding the lawn. So those are automatically off the table for me. As far as a weed and feed for me never really has worked really well, just because of the temperature restrictions I have to deal with here in Southern California, where generally when I have a lot of weeds in my lawn, when I do, it's during those really hot summer months, and generally you do not want to apply a weed and feed when your temperature's average is above 85 degrees. But in the case of the fertilizer insecticide, I really kind of thought, you know what, this might be the right application for me, because right now is the time I would want to be putting down both an insecticide and a fertilizer. So this might actually work out really well for me. Now, I'd love to hear what your guys' opinions are, so as always, please comment down below, subscribe to my channel, and give me a like if you enjoyed this video. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the combo Anderson's fertilizer with insecticide. Very excited to see what kind of results I'm going to get in the future. You're going to have to follow my content to see how well the lawn turns out. And as always, be excellent and party on.